Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a church. Get on Monday. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks for going to the YouTube page and watching all the fire vlogs and all the fun clips we've been posting. It's growing. We got guys doing a great job, so thanks for supporting that. Jonathan Kite back in studio. Jonathan's got dates coming up, Tempe, Arizona, Tempe Improv, coming up 13th through the 15th of June. And you can go to jonathankitecomedy.com to find out where he's going to be. He's a real funny stand-up. And, of course, Alicia Krause is here. All right, plugs for you coming up soon enough, Alicia. Do not worry.
That's okay.
Now, let me ask you guys like a etiquette thing.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I am supposed to be here in the AM before this to do my Beat It Out thing, which I do with Jay Moore, which is on Substack, which you guys should check out because it's really funny. And Jay is super, I don't know, I'm going to call him underrated, just funny. Like,
Very.
Super funny dude. He rolls with everything. He's also one of these guys who knows every reference you make every single time, which is rare. And it's something that more comedians should possess, but they don't. Like, they just, there's a lot of comedians like, I don't know that. I don't know that song. I don't know that reference. I don't know that TV show, but he knows and gets everything. But I'm supposed to get here in the morning, and there's a giant semi-truck that is literally blocking the driveway, just split right in the middle of the street, just parked. It's a semi-truck. It's an 18-wheeler, but it's a flat bed. Doesn't have a box on the back. It's just flat. And it's facing behind me. So it's basically going toward the freeway to the back street. There's a back street there. And there's no way to get into my parking lot for not only me, but Jay Moore and others that are starting. And these guys with a forklift are unloading stuff that's on the back of the truck.
Oh, so they don't have any plans of leaving anytime soon.
No, and there's not much on the back of the truck.
What are they unloading? Pillows?
It's like pillows,
feathers,
slippers, Mylar balloons filled with helium, down products, like down sleeping bags and jacks. Just lighter stuff. Now, they're doing like some kind of equipment that's going into the rented place across the street, basically. One over and across the street. I don't know, equipment. They're opening someplace over there. So I come in, and they got no intention of going anywhere, you know? And so
they're like, can you help?
Yeah, you got a forklift? Now, I have
No,
done...
they're probably union. It's not allowed.
I've done a lot of unloading cars and 18-wheelers with car carriers and stuff, and it's pretty easy protocol. You pull to this back street. The back street is empty because it runs along the freeway, and you pull up there, and then you can unload the car or unload the equipment. You can do whatever you want once you're over there,
right?
Because you're not really blocking anyone. So I'm behind the guy, and he's not going anywhere, and he's just outside the truck. And I give the go pull it up. Let's pull up. Now, they have a forklift. So what they're going to have to do is pull it up 100 feet, park it, and then get the forklift and just drive it, make a few trips.
Right.
It's about 80 feet worth of forklift. But right now, they like the forklift just unloading it right there and just going 20 feet. Mm-hmm. Which is, I get it's more convenient for them.
Right.
But other people work on the street and own properties, and you're blocking everybody. So I go pull it ahead. And then he does the go around. Like, go around. And I'm like, well, how's that work? And he goes, go around, and then I'll back up. And I'm like, shouldn't you be pulling forward and letting me into my own fucking driveway? Isn't that what, shouldn't you be like, my bad, let me just pull it forward. Now, he's right in the middle of the driveway. It is about 60-40. He would have to pull forward 20 feet, and then I would go into my driveway. But he's telling me, go around.
And then he'll back up?
He'll back up. Instead of going forward 20 feet, he'll back up 10 feet, and I can get into my driveway. So just the notion of me going, I work here, and you going, go around. It's already kind of a weird one, especially when your truck is facing the direction that you could just pull up.
Right.
And then I say to him, you're parked in the park over there. Pull up and park by the side of the freeway. It's wide open by the side. Just
Adam,
park
you're
there.
using too much common sense.
I
And you're
know.
expecting other people to have like basic consideration. And they
Basic
just
consideration. And he looks at me. I go, just pull up and park next to the freeway. And he goes, there's no parking there. And I go,
There's no parking here.
you're in the middle of the street. Do you think there's parking here? You're blocking 4 driveways, unloading your shit. Pull ahead. It's like, go around. And I'm like, okay, fine. Jay, we're starting. Fuck it. I go around. And here's the part. This is the part that really is the cherry on top of the shit entitled Sunday for me. The go around is, go that way 30 feet, go that way 100 feet, turn down that street, and come around. The go around process is about 60 seconds, right? So I'm just going to go around and be right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I go around and come back around, he's still standing outside his truck having a conversation with somebody. And I like honk on the horn, like, get in your fucking... I thought the truck would be pulled out
Right.
when I
You
came
expected
around.
too much of him.
Now I had to alert him. It surprised him. He's like, go around, and then completely forgot about me.
He
and
was
just go back
hoping you were going to
talking.
find parking.
Yes,
Yes.
I know. What
On
the
the no parking
fuck?
street.
Like,
Yeah.
he
See,
had-
I didn't even have to move.
he wasn't even in his truck when I came around. He was outside of his truck talking to someone mid-truck.
No, the truck protocol, we're just parking in the middle with it's like delivery vehicles now
Yes.
everywhere. Because it's like we're part of the problem because we're ordering Amazon and everything like that. But then
Yeah.
there's nowhere for them to park.
Right.
And so, yeah, in my neighborhood, it's done. It's there. They just clog up the entire thing, even if they have to make deliveries for the neighborhood. You just
And I guess their thing is sort of, fuck it, cry me a river, rich white guy. But also, I got shit to do, and I don't really care if I hurt your feelings. It's not like we're hanging out.
I like though that he assumed he looked at you as like rich white guy.
Yeah.
That must have felt nice.
Well,
Did he call you that?
I would have preferred that, but I think he was probably maybe he was doing the warehouse math. I don't know, but I am sort of strangely, it's right. I'll give you an example. The people were like, he's blocking my driveway. So I'm like, pull up, and he pushes it back onto me. No,
It's your problem.
go around that way, and then we'll see if we can get me in the truck. It's the people who are like watching TV with their feet up on the coffee table of life, and you're pushing the vacuum past them, and you go, hey, could you move your legs? I'm vacuuming. And they go, okay, what else do you need, Highness?
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
But
I'm
also-
doing this thing, and I know you're put off, but you shouldn't be put off. You should be sorry and help me vacuum.
But
Yep.
they're just visiting this
Right.
truck.
Yes, that is
You
true.
live here.
That is true.
So I don't like when someone's visiting and
Yes.
becomes the mayor for the day.
Yes.
And it's sort of like I'm gonna be the crossing guard of this street.
But do you feel like they feel justified in that, or they don't give a you know what because they are coming and going?
I think that they think what they're doing is more important than you finding a parking spot.
But they also can get away with it because it isn't their neighborhood. So they're like, I'm not going to be
Yeah.
back here again. So F
and
it.
also, no one's gonna move the truck but them.
They gave the speech the Texas City Council in Vegas gave to Robert De Niro in Casino when he was like in his office. It's like, you don't get it.
Yeah.
You're just guests.
Yeah, that's right.
You're just guests here.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not from here. You're guests here. And we can change that. That was like this great speech where they fired his fucked up son.
Yeah.
Billy Bob, whoever, from
Yeah.
doing the slot machines
That's
or
right.
whatever. That was a great
That's
scene.
the way the world works.
Yes. All right. So here's an interesting hypothetical as I was thinking about it today for you two and all of us to drill down onto. I sit around and I think about eras in good and bad eras. And I guess what it reminded me of is when I was in high school in Los Angeles in the early 80s. I was the captain of the football team, and then so people go, oh, you must add all the girls. And I go, no, I got none of the girls. And they go, but captain of the football team. And I think, that's 1957. and that's in Texas or wherever, but this is Los Angeles, and the girls want the punk rock guy because it's 1982. They
the
want the
soap opera
skinny,
extra.
angry dude, the guy's wearing eyeliner, the goth guy. You know, they want the fourth Ramon. They don't want the captain of the football team. And I started thinking, it's really luck of the draw era-wise, because if I was the captain of the football team in the 50s, then I get the head cheerleader, but not in the 80s and not in Los Angeles.
I think geography has something to do with it too. Being from the Bible Belt, like it's like baseball, basketball, football. Any captain, and all the girls wanted to be a cheerleader and date that guy.
Well, how was the football team? How were you guys? What was your record?
Sucked.
There you go. There was not. It was more the record.
No, it was an era, and I also realized, you were captain of the football team in the 50s, and then we got to like late 60s, Jane Fonda, Vietnam, 4 Dead in Ohio, and stuff. And all of a sudden, it wasn't cool to be the jock. It was cool to be the hippie dude. And there's just eras. They weren't in the 50s. They weren't really competing with anything. And then at some point, they took a turn in the late 60s, early 70s, and it got grungy. Like let's say early 90s. We went from pretty boy with popped collars, yuppie, to kind of preppy to grungy. And all of a sudden the grunge guys are having their day, you know? So it's kind of it's not all about it's that way with everything. Like it's that way with like architecture, and if you had a beautiful craftsman style house, like a Pasadena craftsman style house from 1914, but it was 1975, we'd be putting burnt orange linoleum in the kitchen and avocado colored appliances and spraying acoustic shit on the ceiling. But now it would be cool.
I didn't know where you were going with this because I thought you were going to come up.
Well, I'm not there yet.
Well, but the architects were getting the ladies.
No, I'm just saying a lot of it is not about who you are, or it's a sort of where you
trend
are.
Of the time.
And the era. And then I thought to myself, so somebody tweeted me and they were like, oh, yeah, in the early 70s, we just took off and drank out of the hose. And, our parents, nobody wanted you in the house. It was my young era was like, take it outside. Everything was you could have been doing your homework at night quietly, and they would have been, take it outside. Everything was, take it out. Just get out of here.
I lived outside for the first 20 years of my life.
Yeah, me too.
I was like Mowgli.
Yeah, I know. And it's like no money, no food, no water.
Nothing.
Parents don't care. Just go. Get out.
By the way, kidnappers everywhere.
Unmarked vans, primered.
They were still putting us on milk cartons back then.
Not only did my parents not care, but every one of my friends' parents hated me too. Mr. Vendig, that guy scared me. Roberta Messick scared. They're all scary. That if they walked in and you were in their kitchen with your head like in the pantry, they'd start yelling at you. Put that back. Like
they wouldn't even feed you.
They were mean.
Like a convenience store owner who thinks that you're doing the 5-finger discounts.
Yeah, get out of here. You kids, get out. Like,
I'll call the police. When you left their house, they had the tape measure to see how tall you were so they could identify you.
The front door, David Vendick's dad's house had the measure, had the 7-Eleven.
They had those mirrors,
on there.
those
circular,
mirrors.
convex.
Yeah.
So not only did, like, my own parents, they were sort of agnostic on their kids, but my friends' parents, they weren't fans either. And they certainly weren't cool, and they weren't friendly, and they weren't doing like, my kids, I had to be friends with their friends and cool with their friends and lots of stuff. You took them out, you bought them dinner too, and you'd come home, they'd just be eating on the fucking sofa at McDonald's, and like if you went like, hey guys, go to the table, they'd be like, Dad, like there's no way we would have tried it. My daughter, I walked in my entry hall, a friend roller skated past me. Inside my house. Inside my house. And did like a high five. Like, hey, Mr. C, just right by.
Was she working for a malt shop at the time?
Yep, she had a tray with a knee high on it.
She's like, I'm in the weeds, Mr. Carolla, give me a second.
So I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, when is a good time? Like, what would have been a good era? And I was also thinking about, again, the ebbs and the flows of the eras. Like, heavyweights, American heavyweights. You know, you had the whole Ali and Frazier and Foreman and epic battles. And then all of a sudden, there were no names you've never heard of. The Ronaldo Snipes, heavyweight, you know, battling who cares? Like, what happened to the... Well, there's an era. Right. And they're not all salad days. Some are better, and then there's like little dips. American cars. American cars are great now. Are great now. You would not want to buy an American car in 1974, but you buy one now. Right. It's a good era. And you can kind of chart like everything. Like it's not all just up and better. It's like there's a good time.
Or sometimes when some of the things are good, like the car era, then other things not so good.
Yeah, right. Not everything's good at the same time. It's good to have an American car in 1955, bad to have one in 1975, good in 2025.
Yeah, it's what's on trend. It's like even stand-up. You think about the booms that happen in stand-up.
True. Yeah.
Right. So now I posed the question. Best time to be a junior in high school? Because you can go, well, it's all good now, except for it's not, because half the kids are transitioning to the other sex. There's lots. First off,
There's like academic pressure on these kids, too.
Some of them. I mean, I didn't know when I was a kid, when I was in high school.
Not Lori Loughlin's kid.
If you said, well, she can row.
That's what I mean.
If you said to me when I was in high school, name one terrorist organization, I'd be like, I don't know.
Oh, man.
Name one Middle Eastern, whatever, Boko Haram or whatever. I didn't know fucking Houthis. Yeah. I didn't know one thing. I didn't know.
Whoever John McClane fought in Die Hard.
Yeah, right. That's, I don't know, weird accent guy. Yeah. I don't know. White
Skeletor, I think.
Nicely dressed guy with a weird accent.
Gargamel.
Yeah, and then it's like, I didn't know. And if you'd said like one country in the Middle East, I'd just be like, is Egypt is that in the Middle East? Because if it is, I'm going with Egypt. Yeah. Like, I don't know all the different territories and ethnic cleansing going on. There wasn't nothing but drug commercials when I turned on the TV. It's now everyone's on the spectrum. Everyone's got ADD. Everyone's got this, and with a dusting of that, you need some more of this. I don't know if this is a good time right now. Also, as a dude, you like the chick, you want to go ask her on a date, or you're going to get Me Too'd. You have to ask for permission to hold her hand. Like, we're in a weird era to be a kid now. Dudes are like just hanging back. Like, I'm not going out on a date. I'm just going to look at porn at home and take edibles and play video games. Yeah. I don't even know how to look a girl in the eye anymore.
I feel like social media makes it worse too.
Social media
because it puts this pressure on like how you're supposed to do things, or if you do the wrong thing, then
or
you're
to have those experiences. Like everybody's trying to outdo everybody else's life.
Yes.
So you have a produced reality.
Even adults do that. Yeah. Like adults our age do that. They're always trying to like one up the next person. Imagine being a 15-year-old with an iPhone and an Instagram.
Oh, and that's all you've known. You didn't even know a time before this.
So maybe like
we're in an adjustment period, I think, with the technology.
Yes.
I pray so. I pray for my kids. Yeah. I'm the mean mom that won't let them have a cell phone, but 1,000%.
So where do we go? All right. So then the question is
mid-90s?
Yeah, that's a good, to be a junior in high school, mid or 90s feels pretty good.
I graduated late 90s.
There you go.
We had
It was awesome.
Had enough technology, stuff worked well enough. We had color TVs and air conditioning. We didn't have all the real social pressures, and no one was struggling with their sexuality and all that shit.
The only sex that was talked about was the blue dress and Bill Clinton on TV. Yeah.
Or the show Kids, or that movie Kids with Larry Clark.
Yeah.
That came out in 95.
So you think when you graduate, what high school did you graduate from?
Niles North, home of the Vikings.
Home of the Vikings.
Yes, sir.
Niles North.
Yes, sir.
Where's Niles North?
It's in Skokie, Illinois. Right outside of Chicago, by Evanston, where Northwestern University is.
Was it a big school?
It was pretty big, yeah. We had pretty big graduating class. We graduated at the Northwestern University's basketball arena. Yeah, it was pretty big.
Now, were you popular kid, weird kid? I could make an argument for both.
I think I was going to say yes.
Yes, both.
I mean, ask the student body. I think that I sort of jumped from circle to circle. I had friends pretty much everywhere. I loved high school. I had a blast.
You could do the voices, right?
I did. I actually would. I didn't do famous people or like celebrities back then. I had a teacher in particular who was, whenever he was sick, we would try to convince the substitute to let me teach the class as him. And I used to do that.
Oh, see, that's instant popularity.
It was fun.
Yeah. See, humor's good, but like weird, thought-provoking era kid talk like this didn't really go over well with 15-year-olds, but voices would. Voices would work.
You could get it. I mean, it was instant sort of, wow, that's what that teacher sounds like.
And it's so interesting, too, because it's in their own little circle of their own little world.
For sure.
Even if you could have done celebrities, I think sometimes, like, what makes things funny is your connection to it.
It's a shared, of course. Yes. You're absolutely right.
It's that shared experience of what is funny. So you making fun of the teacher, he's not there, but everybody knows what he sounds like. And he was like a teacher out of a Roald Dahl book. Like he was one of those guys that was very tough. He used to write. We had to write one time "Farewell to Arms," the Hemingway. We had to write a satire of it. Which is very hard.
Really?
Because it's like either you can write satirically or you can't.
Yeah.
So then he would, I remember on a lot of the grades he would give people, he was just like, not funny, F.
Right.
So like that was the type of guy he was. And it wasn't a pass-fail class. It was just that you either got an A with him or he was like mildly amused, laughed a few times, B+.
What did he sound like?
He had very big jowls, and he sort of he had no expression on his face. And he and I remember this woman, Barbara. He had us. We weren't paying attention one day in class, and we were sort of fucking around. And he, at the end of it, he just said, the bell rang, and he stopped us, and he said, "Tonight, write a 2-page essay on if a river could talk, what would it say?" And we thought, why? And then he was like, "It's due tomorrow, right?" So we go through the whole class. We had to hand it in the beginning. And then he finished the class. And then he said, "Before you go, I'd like to read one of the papers." And he pulled out a random paper. And it was the most laughably embarrassing BS paper you've ever heard in life. And he crumpled it up and threw it on the ground, and the bell rang. And then he just looked out and he said, "As you leave, someone tell Barbara to pick that trash up off the ground."
Wow.
So that we knew that's exactly who he was. And everyone was like, if we could have all taken out mics and just dropped them, it was that type of thing. He was that guy.
It was an era where you could say it was the end of the weirdo, semi-abusive teacher era.
Had a gym teacher. We had those that really pushed.
Couldn't do it.
No. Not the teachers we had.
I remember going to my daughter's third grade, maybe it was second grade or something, and her 26-year-old teacher wearing the go-go boots and the short skirt and everything. And she had her
Casual Friday.
She had her Starbucks big dome foam frappuccino thing on the thing, and it just had her name because she went to Starbucks, like Sarah, Yeah. And I remember just going in. I walked up to the desk. I was like, "You may want to turn that thing back so people they'll call me by my first name." I was like, oh.
Your mind was just blown.
I was like, if I found out the fucking first name of one of my teachers, my fucking head would explode.
I know.
And if I ever called them that you'd get fucking backhanded or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Well, let's do weird. I've seen teachers fighting kids, like Mr. Hensley over at Walter Reed Junior High. Ex-Marine, remember when a crew cut was a crew cut? It's 1979 and he's got a fucking crew cut, and that is weird because everyone else has long hair. And Hensley, tells Mike Reese, I think it was Mike Reese, he told one of these kids, he goes, the guy throws a milk carton tries to throw it in a trash can, but the trash can's sitting outside of the pavilion and it's pouring rain. And the trash can's sitting in a puddle, and there's mud there, where the baseball diamond is. And Mike Reese tries to shoot it in and misses, and he's like, eh. And Mr. Hensley's like, "Mike Reese, pick that up." And Reese kind of looks out to the pouring, driving rain and the thing floating in the puddle, next to it, and he kind of just looks at Hensley and goes, "Yeah, come on, it's pouring out." And he looks back. Next thing you know, Hensley has him in a headlock.
Stop.
Physically in a headlock.
Wow.
Physically attacked him over a milk carton. It's not like Mike Reese got beaked up on drugs and took a swing at one of the girls or something. No, this is a milk carton situation. It's just he defied him. Like he went, go get it. And he went, yeah, I'll get it later when it stops raining. And next, headlock.
I had a guy, my favorite gym teacher, this Mr. Sokolsky, and one of those older guys, not like Jack LaLanne, that old. I mean, obviously Jack was young at one point, but this guy who just had calves like Popeye's arms.
Yes, yeah, that guy, scariest guy,
could jump, higher than a cat.
Yeah.
And he had the really high socks. The gray New Balances, and this is the 90s. Mm-hmm. He had the real short shorts that, by the way, that the seams of the opening in the legs were going, help.
Yeah. I mean, were they the double snap bike shorts?
They weren't that. They were, it was, like a material that baseball leggings are made out of. Yeah. So there's like a thicker, but it's clearly rayon. It doesn't, by the way, doesn't breathe is their slogan.
Right.
And then he would have on a polo shirt, white, unbuttoned with a whistle. I mean, again, jacked guy, slicked back Michael Douglas Wall Street hair, gray, glasses. Always got that smile. And I remember we had a lot of Eastern European kids where I grew up. And I remember they were defying him to do the mile. And one of them was like speaking Russian. And this guy, Sokolsky, he talked like you. He just talked like us. He was like, you got to do the mile. You're going to do whatever. And then this guy started probably bad-mouthing him in Russian to his buddy. And then Sokolsky just walked right up to him and just started speaking fluent Russian.
Stop.
This close to his face. And he just smiled and he goes, yeah. Run. I mean, yeah, it was like a sleeper cell, buddy.
Yeah.
I was like, where's that guy from?
I
just said my favorite.
Every one of our gym teachers was mean as shit and hated kids. Every one of this is a junior high. Junior high, the shop teachers hated kids, and the gym teachers hated kids. With the exception of one kid, I should say one gym teacher, Mr. Nelson, who is Ricky Nelson's cousin.
No kidding.
Who looked exactly like Ricky Nelson, and every fucking 13-year-old girl was in love with Mr. Nelson because he was hot. He looked like 27-year-old Ricky Nelson. You're young. See, guys, any mean teachers, weird teachers?
I thought that like the mean teachers was like a Hollywood thing because I was homeschooled all 12 years.
Oh, that's right.
So the mean teachers were your parents.
And my mom and dad.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, we had Mr. Walters was mean as shit. Mr. Saponzi was mean as shit. Mr. Walters had a donkey squad where it's like if you got minus points for not lining up straight, for PE.
A donkey squad?
He literally went by the volleyball courts and arranged 4 benches into the shape of a square, and that was called the corral.
Wasn't it in your cartoon?
Yes.
I remember.
Yes. And you had to go to the donkey squad.
Yeah.
Did they ever send girls there?
No, he only did the boys' PE, and nobody else had thought of the donkey squad, but he pioneered the donkey squad, and there was nobody to tell him, you can't really do that.
You can't really corral children.
You can't call them donkeys and yell back to the corral.
They're in internment camps.
Yeah, seriously. He would have done it, and there was no administrator or whatever. It was like, look, Mr. Walters, you can't have your own squad of losers that you verbally abuse and then forced to sit.
A pen.
Yeah, no, you had to go sit there and watch everyone else play softball, dying to play, but you were in the donkeys. You got into the donkey squad.
That teacher would be sued so fast.
Oh, I know.
Like although he would probably trend on TikTok.
We had Mrs. Wolk, who was like every once in a while you had the old teacher. Mr. Spaeth, old, novelty old, like 78, old. It was weird to have the old teacher. But then you'd have Mrs. Wolk, who was 35, but seemed like she was 75, like wore the weird shoes and had her hair in a bun and like weird school teacher look, but really she was 33 as I look back on it.
Everybody was 33. Yeah. We had Miss Cuchamanis, real name, and the Cooch. And she was like, in a movie about junior high where you pass down that like, oh my God, my father had the Cuchamanis.
Right.
She was built with the school.
Right.
She came with the land that it was built on. She had a beehive hair. This is the 90s, mind you. She had a beehive This woman is straight out of the 1940s. She had the cat glasses.
Yes.
But she was, I mean, now looking back at it, she probably was like 60 years old. But even if she was 20, we would have thought she was 90.
Yeah.
It is weird how you think that as a kid. Like people just seem so much older.
Oh, yeah.
My 11-year-old has a 25-year-old like music teacher at their little Catholic school, and she was like, "What?"
And yeah,
she's not that old, but she seems so old. And I'm like, does she really? I think it's the level of authority that they're given. That if you're like a middle schooler, you just assume that they're old. Maybe.
There's no there's a big gap, right? You're young and then you're old.
Yes.
Because they only know people that are like them, and then everybody else is ancient.
That's true. Like parent age.
Yeah.
Which is ancient.
Everybody.
Yes.
We had, I was talking to Jay Moore in here, Jonathan Kite.
Yes, sir.
And Jay does some real funny impressions.
He's great. I just did his podcast.
Oh, and he said, I go, well, Jonathan Kite's coming. He goes, oh, that guy's Tom Hanks. So good. And I was like, yeah, I think I know it. And he specially underlined Tom Hanks. So.
Oh, Tom Hanks is Hi there, Adam. I couldn't be happier to be here. That I am right here. This is an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, he has a little thing that I don't know if it's regional or that.
He's from Northern California.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and there is. You know what? It's funny about him because he's been around so long. Talk about a guy who's like, I mean, literally, every era is a different era. And so I probably do him. My favorite is him around The Burbs. Do you ever see The Burbs? It's one of my favorite. If that movie came out today, it was a bit of a sleeper, kind of a dud in terms of making money. I saw it in the theaters, one of my favorite. But just that neighbor who's so high strung, who's just like, take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital.
Yeah, it's true. He's got eras like Al Pacino had eras.
100%. They always say, I feel like impressionists, we talk about that you either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain, because most people become a caricature of themselves. Like, Jay and I were talking about Walk-In. I just rewatched
Christopher.
Bryan. No.
Walk In.
Walk In.
Sounds like a place you could go or something.
That's the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Walk-Ins.
Walk-ins, welcome.
Walk-in clinic.
Oh, clinic, right.
I'm a doctor.
That's right.
He was like I watched Dead Zone the other day. It's one of my favorite films. He's 40 years old. Looks 15, by the way.
Right.
I mean, whatever, snail white Korean, plastic surgery he had done in the 70s. And the 80s. But he's light. He's sort of like this. And then as they get older, they hear people do impressions of them.
Yeah.
So then Pacino, like you said, it's like Jack Nicholson, De Niro, and they sort of become, because, Al Pacino, when he was younger, had a very high voice.
Oh, right.
Right, Al Pacino, when you walking back here, he goes, we're going to go do this. I'm telling you right here, we got this. But then as he got older, all right, he sort of became like, hey, I'm smoking 50 packs every day. And then it's same with Tom Hanks. When Tom Hanks was younger, he sort of, if you hear him today, Stephen, he just did I'm watching him on Colbert, and he has it's still round, but it's not the way he used to be.
I'm
just hearing Woody because I've been rewatching Toy Story with my children.
You buzz! You're not a space ranger. You are a toy.
Yeah, that was
Pixar, man, when they're at the height of their powers.
So good.
It's like the Roman Empire.
But it's like the stories were so well crafted. Forget about any animation,
Incredible.
anything.
Yeah.
It's the stories and the arcs.
And
and
the music even.
But what you felt
music,
for fake things.
The heart,
the
comedy.
The Incredibles?
Incredible.
Yes.
Hey, Andrew, now it makes me think about Al Pacino and Cruising. But because I had Jay Moore do Al Pacino and Cruising in the now
I am gonna suck that guy's dick.
Yeah. See, Alicia, you don't know what this is. They didn't show this in homeschool.
No.
My buddy played his boyfriend.
It was an Adventure
in the movie.
Al Pacino made the weirdest movie ever. Now
after doing hits, he had hits, and then he made that one.
Right, and you can say movies were flops or duds or I didn't get it or it wasn't very good, but not too many of them are just kind of weird.
Yeah,
like why?
So he did like a really weird gay movie.
He did
he was an undercover cop.
Oh.
Yeah. And then there's a guy who's killing gay men. And so he goes undercover through the back door. How is that not the slogan?
Yeah.
I am going undercover through the back door. Okay.
And it was.
So he's trying to catch like
A murderer.
And
a
listen,
homophobic serial killer?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Or a gay serial killer.
Who was
like
only targeting gay men.
He was roaming the clubs.
Yeah.
And of course,
Like ex-lovers?
well,
We don't want to spoil
first
it for you.
off, I don't have to explain what a serial killer does. They just kill for sport,
Yeah.
number one. But
And they are usually white dudes.
and most of them would this movie again.
By the way, I'm dressed as
we have a-
Pacino
you're wearing
today.
you're wearing
Where's
his
your
wife
necklace?
beater.
I left it in the car, okay?
You got the watch, though.
I left it in a glory hole, okay?
So you watch this now. I need to watch it again, but it's like the weirdest theme. But also, you know what it was based on? In the late 70s, every single one of those cop shows or detective shows in the 70s they had a theme, and I think this is where this movie came from, because they would go like on Dan Tana, they'd go this week on Vegas. In order to catch an international jewel thief, Dan's going to have to become an international. I don't know why you had to become. How about you just become a cop and bust the international?
That doesn't
jewel thief?
happen in life. Right.
Right, but it was like there's an international ring of counterfeiters, and in order to catch them, Dan's going to have to become one, and everything was going to have to become. And for some reason, if there's a gay serial killer, you got to become gay. How else are you going to catch him? And I would argue by just being cops and catching a serial killer, but he would have to infiltrate. You know what I mean?
So, like miscongeniality.
That's, by the way, it's the same thing.
It's all that
the same
theme
thing. It's the same
of join. Every Brian Bosworth movies, there's a biker gang, and he's got to join those bikers.
100%.
And at some point, they always run into that pivotal scene because the lead guy's a little suspicious. Of Bosworth's character. Like, I'm not sure if he's one of us. And the ladies all love him, so that doesn't help. But at some point, they give the gun to him, and they go, we caught this Fed. Now let's smoke him. And they give the gun to Bosworth. And Bosworth realizes if he doesn't smoke him, he's going to be made. But he can't smoke him and they do this thing, and he'd go, I'd like to roast this pig right now. But he's going to be worth more to us alive, because we can use him if we try to get across the border. And like that, the head guy goes, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, in Cruising, he's like, you got to suck this guy's dick. And then Pacino's like,
if I don't suck this guy's dick, I'm outed in the wrong way.
Say hips or lips, because that's the best way.
Hips or lips.
And so... But the part that was... All right, I'll play the hips. The part about the movie that's crazy is Pacino kind of becomes gay. That's the weird part. Like if I'm reading the script, I'd be like, all right.
How funny is that the captain's like, you don't have to become gay. And he goes,
I got to do this.
Yeah, it's like...
I've got to go undercover.
And he has a girlfriend. Karen Allen's his girlfriend. Yeah. And why does he have to go gay? Like, here's what I'm saying. They use police.
We're putting you on the exotic birds case. He goes, I got to do the gay one.
They have police women.
Wait, can you become an exotic bird to find me?
Flap, flap.
He's the best.
You have police women dress up as prostitutes, but they don't become prostitutes. They just dress like prostitutes. Right. That's kind of...
it's a costume.
It's a costume. Brian Bosworth wasn't in the Hells Angels. He was infiltrating, but at some point the lines get blurry.
They go, you didn't have to sleep with those men.
That's right.
He goes, I couldn't tell if their dicks were wearing a wire.
Here's hips or lips, by the way.
This is the coldest read I've ever seen in my life.
Also, how big's your dick? Party size.
Party size.
I don't know if that's a great description of a nice dick.
And by the way, if this was a bigger hit, that would have caught on.
Party size?
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's like for McDonald's, you want small, medium, large, party size? What are we doing here?
But it's like what's the movie?
Candy bar.
No, the lady with the voice, and she's in the radio, and they are all the gangs in New York.
Oh, The Warriors.
The Warriors.
One of the best movies of all time.
Right, but it's kind of a sleeper movie, right? And there's some like, can you dig it?
But I feel like that is an iconic film.
It is an iconic film
It
that even this
became
homeschooler
culty.
knows.
This never
This
became
wasn't
anything. But
Even gay people are like, oh, that's not us.
I want to examine the term party size.
Yeah.
Party size. When I grew up, they didn't have the party size or the fun size
Fun
little
size,
candy
yeah.
bars. Does party size mean big? Does party size mean fun?
Party size is small. It's like what you get at Halloween.
Why did he say, I'm a full...
but this is 45 years ago.
He should have said, I'm full almond joy.
Yeah.
Nuts out.
That's right.
I mean, party size.
I'm a payday.
I'm a payday. Yeah, I'm $100,000.
Oh, that's a good one. I got a lot of nougat.
Yeah, I'm a Snickers. I'll satisfy.
I really hope my mom doesn't watch this episode.
They couldn't get, by the way, they were looking for a candy sponsorship. The way that like Reese's Pieces was with E.T. Because,
Right.
you know, they offered it to M&M's, and then the only alien that ever existed was Alien from the movie Alien. And they were like, we don't want our candy associated with an alien. And they're like,
Right.
no, it's family friendly.
Oh, such a mismarketing opportunity.
I know.
Well, I hope
Break me off with a piece of that Kit Kat bar. You know
I
that?
hope Mrs. Kraus, your mom,
Mrs. Blankenship. That's my maiden
Blankenship,
name.
is not listening because we're going to go to the bandana scene.
Oh, yeah.
And the bandana scene is mind numbing. And
Hips or lips?
not only that, but
Look at how young he is.
it's Powers Booth is the guy behind the counter at the gay
I love Powers
bandana
Booth
shop
so much.
place. All right, go ahead and play it.
It's a great scene.
It's the weirdest movie
I'm gonna go home and think about
ever.
it.
But when Al Pacino's reading the script, like the first 30 pages are like, all right, New York City, right? You play a cop. Good. Gotcha. I'm there. There's a gay bar.
Times Square
Oh,
in the 80s,
okay.
understandable.
All right. Guys hanging out. Someone's killing the gay guys. All right. You're a cop, so you're going to infiltrate them. Okay. You got a girlfriend, but you start going gay by page 47. And he's got to be like, why?
He's like,
I don't
wait a
know.
minute.
Why does my character have to start going gay?
Calls his agent.
I just got the rewrites.
Was this the OG Call Me By Your Name?
I mean, this is for a guy like him who was coming off of Godfather 2, Godfather, you know, I mean, he had so many hits, and then to do this in 1980, this was just such a left turn. And I think that he thought that it would be, you know, more culturally like, wow.
Appreciated.
Yeah, and
but
sort
this
of
was
like-
before the Oscars went woke, so he didn't get a nomination
He goes,
for it.
he says,
Oh,
this thing
yeah. Now he would have walked home. They
Well,
would have slept.
he says what Michael J. Fox says in Back to the Future. He goes, you know, he's like, it's a bit too much for you, but
Your kids are going to love it.
William Friedkin directed this.
it didn't
Who
hurt
did the
anybody's
Fren-
career.
He did the French Connection.
Yeah, it
Wow.
didn't, but it didn't hurt anybody's career.
All right, we'll do what we did with Jay Moore,
And
which
it
is
upped the bandana sales. I invested in bandana sales.
I am going to play Powers Booth, the
Okay.
proprietor of the bandana store,
Okay.
and you play Al Pacino coming in inquiring about bandanas.
All right, I'm here. How we doing? Excuse me.
Yeah.
What are these colored bandanas for?
Well, green means you're either a John or a prostitute. Yellow, right pocket, that means you pee on people. Left pocket means you get pissed on. The Paisley one, I don't even know. I've been here for 11 years. I still haven't figured out what the Paisley one means. Blue one, that's involves a glass coffee table. White one means you give oral. If it's in the right pocket, it's in the left pocket. It means you take oral, and if it's on your head, it means you're a Klansman.
I'll take one of each.
Well, nobody takes one of each because that
I'm filling all the lips and hips. I have got to get.
Right.
I got to find this murderer.
Look,
and I'm going to use all the holes to do it.
Look, my great grandfather Giuseppe set up this gay bandana store in 1931, and I've been here a long time, and no one has ever bought all of them.
I'm going full bandana.
Yeah, but see, that's confusing because now you got the gay prostitute coming up to you. You also have the John coming up to you. You also have one guy's peeing on you. You're peeing on another guy. It's helter-skelter on your rear end. You really need to pick a major.
All right. What's the bandana that says I'm going to think about it?
Well, we have a powdered blue one, which says
That seems the gayest of all.
Yeah, I know, but it's more code, like semaphore. You ever been on an aircraft carrier?
In the service, yeah.
Yeah, so like let's say you do a race. Green flag, start of the race. Checkered flag, end of the race. See what I mean? Black flag, red flag, debris on the track. The flag, the color. What the color does is it conveys a message to the person in the car or on the deck or in the bathroom on the other end of the glory hole. You understand?
All right, I'll take a blue one.
Yeah, we also sell mints and chapstick.
I'll take a mint.
Well, they come in a pack. I don't sell them at loose.
Chapstick, you're losing money. You got to have a chapstick that's also a mint. You put it here
We have
for your lips and your ears.
we got a winter green chapstick.
Wow, I bet that feels real good. Oh, yeah.
And see,
That was the original.
that was the original script.
That was the original script that he agreed to. And then when he changed it, he goes,
What happened to my scene?
Also, Powers Booth was early in his career.
His voice
by the way,
is so unique.
he's a teacher who was 20 years old there, and he looks 70.
Right. And Powers Booth had to have, by the way, gayest name ever, Powers Booth.
Dude,
but
that's why he was cast.
he was like, he had to go home and brag to his friends, I'm starring in a movie with Al Pacino, and you guys are all going to be there opening night. You know, I got a big scene with Al Pacino. And they're like, oh my God, Powers, struggling actors, landed a role with Al Pacino. And then that scene.
Then, that's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Have you ever even heard of that movie, Alicia Krause?
I'd never heard of it.
I figured you hadn't. You're too young and homeschooled. It's too weird.
Also, like Bible Belt, college dropout.
It wasn't playing at the drive-in?
No, I was going to say, this was not at the sock hop.
This is not. I'm gonna text all of my gay friends though and be like, "Have y'all seen this?"
I just thought it was.
Is it a gay cult classic?
I don't think it's anything cult classic.
Yeah, I don't think I think it's a movie.
It's something that you guys like watched when you were high and made fun of.
I was watching a lot of Pacino stuff because I think there was a year there around probably like late 70s, early 80s, where Scarface.
Yeah.
But there was a gap where I hadn't seen those movies.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, what's this? And I remember
You're
watching
looking at
this.
IMDb and you're like, next Pacino movie.
That's what
on
it
the
was.
list.
And then I'm just like, I was like, took this girl on a date. I'm like, let's watch Cruising. No. But it was just one of those things where I'm going, wait, when did this movie come out? Oh,
And
right.
it's one of those things too. I feel like I don't like to watch scary things, but if I start it, then I have to finish it because then you have to know how it ends.
Yes.
And so it's like one of those. It's like so bad, but you have to know what's going to happen. You can't walk away from it invested.
I'm glad
and
I watch
not
it for a
know.
few reasons. I worked with a director who wound up playing his cover boyfriend in it.
Ooh.
So this guy's a director, but he was an actor for a long time. And this guy, Don Scardino, great guy. And he's so young. And to have seen when he was like, oh, yeah, I used to act. And I go, what were you in? He goes, you ever see Cruising? And I went, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was crazy. I go, yes, you were the guy.
What else? I mean, Andrew knows, but did he write this too? It's also a very weird thing, like to be inspired to write. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
anyone has written, I've written scripts. I've written a few comedies and full-length stuff, and it's like you sort of tear pages from your own life, and you go, oh, this would be funny. You know, you have these feelings like you go, that I wrote a script with Jimmy once, and it was basically just going, Mary Kay Letourneau, the woman who had sex with her young
kid,
whatever.
Yeah, the teacher, the hot,
right,
yeah,
right.
uh-huh.
And then you go, I don't know why you're putting a picture up that we don't care about, but just get the names of the movies that he directed and wrote, please. But anyway, you sit there and you go, wow, that woman was married to a guy. And then what was that guy's life like after this? Like everyone's talking about her and the kid.
Yes.
But that's a smaller town and that people know who he is. And there's a husband somewhere. And what would that life be like? And then what would the life be like if he also taught at that same school in their town? I'm like, okay, now we have a movie.
Speaking
that guy's
of-
life. But it's not,
I was
what if
just-
that guy was gay and people were getting stabbed in a bathroom and he had to go gay? Dude, that's like a weird thought.
You're like, what correlation did the writer have with this in real life? You mean, or was it just?
It's just
totally made up?
it's a weird one to come. It's just
What studio greenlit this?
That's
is what I want to know.
That's kind of like the whole thing. You got
Is it somebody's son?
You got an A-lister.
Yeah, maybe.
Gerald Walker wrote it. But I would need to know other movies Gerald Walker wrote.
Cruising 2, Electric
things of
Boogaloo.
that nature. Yeah, like
One movie.
One
movie.
This
That's what
is
that
it.
means.
He didn't write a movie
one
about
movie.
Fire Island?
No, he wrote Cruising 2 in the Pink. One
right.
in the Stink. You know?
That's right.
Now, I mean, that is crazy. You know what was crazy about this was the Cruising action figures.
Oh, I made the mistake of
All the
buying
bundles had
those.
Kung Fu grip.
Yeah. He wrote one movie
Wow.
and his one movie was a big Hollywood movie with Al Pacino and William Friedkin.
You know what's funny? The
Directed
lighting.
and then nothing.
The lighting on this, you don't adjust your eyes or the screen. That's
Yes.
how dark every scene is in the
Okay,
movie.
I wasn't sure if it was just the quality of the computer.
And by the way, it wasn't the time period. Like you look at other movies from the 80s, that movie is just shot.
Xanadu was in the theater at the multiplex next door.
We're going to see a double feature.
We're going to go Xanadu, then we go cruising.
That's the order, Ben.
Yeah, never go cruising
No,
and
never
then
go full
Xanadu.
cruising, dude. You don't.
Don't go full cruise.
You
Oh
don't.
my gosh.
United Artists, one of the biggest companies at the time.
Huge.
Wow.
Produced by Jerry Weintraub.
Huge.
Whoa. Even I know that name.
How do we explain this? And then what happened to the guy who wrote it? Was it just such a weird movie that he could never
well,
do
you already
another
said
movie?
he probably died of AIDS 4 years later.
Well, he still could have squeezed out another 2 movies.
Another 2 sequels.
Did
you don't know
this
the
guy
Cruising
die of
trilogy?
AIDS? Died in 2004.
Okay.
Probably not. Probably missed AIDS. And he had to go on to something or do something. Just
So maybe he wasn't somebody's son.
opened a
If he
daycare
only got
center
one
in
movie.
Encino in 87.
Well, I feel like this was a Pacino passion project. Because he was one of those guys who was doing, I mean, I think he was trying to tell stories. Like, look at Scarface, which I think now is like a cult classic sort of now, but it's a pretty insane movie.
It is insane.
And then I think we just like sort of chalk it up as like, Godfather, Scarface. I'm like, no. Those are not the same types of films.
Yeah, weird music, weird everything.
But cool.
Yeah, but
in
cool.
retrospect, very cool. But you got to think like that's not what's in fashion right now.
Right.
And like this sort of and also the crazy he's
Right.
doing like a crazy voice,
Yeah.
and you're just sort of like the fashion. I watched it the other day again. I'm like, man,
The hair,
everything.
everything.
It looks so cool. Like the film stock that it's shot on is gorgeous. The music weird and beautiful.
Yeah.
And then there's Cruising.
Yeah. So this guy who wrote Cruising, Andrew, nothing else after Cruising.
Wow.
Didn't go on to direct
Poor guy.
a few episodes of Friends or nothing.
I mean,
there's just
All
nothing.
he did was
Just did
do
nothing.
he did the L Word.
Yeah, did a few episodes. One season of
his
the L Word.
The bandana sales through the roof.
That's
That was the popcorn bucket.
Also, it was kind of a weird. The premise of the scene was weird because he looks at the bandanas and goes, "Tell me about these."
Right. He
Which
doesn't
is
ask of anything else in the place.
right, and also
What is the
he's
rest
like,
of the store?
Excuse me, dildos. I got to get past you.
yeah, right. But there are bandanas, and people traditionally wear them on their head, or they wipe the sweat off their brow with them. And like the bandana's been around for a long. Banditos would put them over their face to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't. Al Pacino wouldn't be confused. Like, what is this? Unless it was all just gay code, and he wanted the gay code. One IMDb acting credit
Oh.
for this guy
And what was it?
from 1962, so 18 years
Before this.
before that.
It was a Cruising short film.
No. I wonder if they went to Tom Cruise early for this on a kind of who's on first kind of situation. No, it's called Cruising. Right. Sure it is. That's my name.
That's my name. I'll do
No.
it.
This is
He
different.
wasn't big enough yet. In
Right.
1980.
No. This is pre-risky business.
He missed it by like a year.
Was Risky Business before Cocktail?
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. It was that was Breakout, I
Man,
think.
he's kind of lucky that he didn't get pigeonholed into like that kind of character.
Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing. His career is so incredible. He's picked like 1 or 2 duds. Like,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Every other movie. And I know you love Days of Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Considered a dud, by the way.
Yeah.
And because his movies are so successful, it's just like, can that guy pick a script or what? Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Or Scientology can. I don't know.
By the way, by the way, Scientology, if you're listening, and we know you are, help me pick scripts.
Yes.
Did you see Mission Impossible? By the way,
Not yet.
Is it good?
Impossible. It's so good.
Is it?
He's all the stuff when we talking about, vehicles or whatever that he's doing, the plane's sequence is unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's the story. I talked to someone. It's like, it was good, but it was just like the story wasn't really popping.
But you're not there for the.
Okay.
By the way, who are you talking to that was there for the story?
Was
it the guy who wrote Cruising?
There's such a thing.
There wasn't a bandana scene.
There's movies like Predator and stuff like that where they seem really way out there, but the story's really interesting. I
don't think the story was bad. Is my point.
It wasn't.
I don't. I think also Tom Cruise is so compelling. By the way, he's been in bad movies. This was not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So Andrew, this person has not done a thing, wrote a thing, or done anything since Cruising. There's no credits.
Wow.
You just work with Universal, and you work with the biggest producers and the biggest actors, and you make a big budget film, and then you just fall off the edge of the earth. There's just nothing.
Guess it didn't do that great for him.
No, it didn't do that great for him. But there's usually kind of coast to a stop a little. There's a couple.
He's like, no, I've reached the mountaintop.
So we would not know we don't know if this person
We're so baffled.
Opened a novelty store in Universal Studios.
This is the movie.
I want to know
finding out what happened to the guy in Cruising.
To this guy.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So there's nothing. I guess, or just write nothing.
I'm looking up his obituary. It literally just says author of Cruising.
That's it.
Stop.
Wow.
Well, so clearly he was still proud of it. If he wanted to include it in his obituary.
Well, but now you got a choice between Cruising and nothing.
No, 1962's short film, student film. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Cruising's author, Gerald, Walker, dead at 75. Even that's a weird one. Cruising,
especially because there's a mouth above it, empowering me.
Yes.
With McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because it's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was 25 years after he wrote Cruising.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, he'll be missed. We'll take a break. Alicia Krause got some news, right? We'll do all that right after.
We have it so good in America, we're just canceling words right now. Not the racial slur. That shit got to be gone forever ago. I'm talking about everyday words. Like on a plane, the flight attendant can't use the word turbulence anymore. They can say rough air and they can say light bumps. Light bumps! That sounds like a negative review for a Coke dealer.
Jonathan Kite is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Yeah, I don't like all the nomenclature stuff either at all. I mean, I didn't even like when cockpit became flight deck.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What about master bedroom? You're not allowed to say anymore.
You're not allowed to say grandfathered in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did hear about that one.
I looked them up because I was trying to write something, and you're not allowed to say gypsy. You can't say gypped.
Oh, right.
So they gypped him out of it,
Yeah.
Stop, because it's derogatory towards gypsies.
Gypsies, yeah.
I think in that department, you can probably still get away with paddy wagon.
You probably,
and you can get away with jerry-rigged, which is German.
Oh, yeah.
Anything involving the Germans, they're like, screw those guys. We can make fun
also, there is kind of a weird thing that they don't really. There's a rule, which is like you go, all right, who are the minorities in this country? And you go like, okay, you got black, okay, that's 13% of the country there. And you got Hispanic, that's 31% of the country there. What about Asian? They're 4%. No, they're not. Well, but I thought we're talking about minorities here. There's less than half. They're less than half of. Yeah, I know they're doing good.
But have you seen how well they're doing?
Yeah, they're kicking ass. So leave them alone.
They're 1%.
They're not really. You go to UCLA. Walk around.
Remember how brief the Stop Asian Hate campaign was?
Yeah. Well, they don't want it. I'll tell you why the Asians flourish here. And so you kind of go, well, look, is this offensive or is this not offensive? And you go, well, how are they doing? Well, Germany, what do they got? They got Porsche, Audi, BMW. They're fine. Yeah. Right. They're fine. Okay, so make fun of them. And I'm like, well, I think the rule should be don't make fun of anyone or make fun of everyone, but not feel feel what their annual income is to see how they're doing. Here's what the Asians do, and you can tell, and what they've always done, and I don't think they don't even like. I think Asians stop the stop Asian hate thing.
Oh,
because here's what Asians do: they come in here, and they get the 10-year-old Asian kid, and they go, "What's his name?" Well, it was Isawa. What's it now? Joe.
Walter.
Blend in. Go. Don't have anyone try to pronounce your name. Don't correct. It's not Isawa. It's Isawa. Don't do any of it. Your name is Joe. Your name is Sally. Go. Go blend in. Go kick ass. Go take over. Don't march. Don't look for a pride day. Don't tell people how to fucking pronounce.
Get straight A's and play golf.
Just play golf. Get straight A's, play golf, kick ass, take over. Do not fucking boast. Don't be loud. Don't wear jewelry. Don't drive, a Cadillac. Just blend, and you can kick ass. But the second you start marching and having Asian Pride Day and get a bullhorn on the campus, you're standing out now.
I've never seen an Asian Pride parade.
There isn't. They just go quietly blend in and don't have people struggle over how to pronounce your name. Now, the blacks go the opposite. They go, your name is now Nikisha. And it's like, okay, everyone's going to have trouble with that. Then you're going to correct everybody. And then they're going to go, I don't want to hire you because I don't want to be corrected. I don't know how to fucking pronounce your name. Don't do that. Get a basic one-syllable, easy name. Go blend in. No Rolexes, no diamonds. But you go and you kick ass, and you'll own all that shit.
When you look
and
at
that's what the Asians do.
The immigration, when the immigration for Asians up, they look at the top 10 baby names of the year. It's like, wow, we had a lot more Joes this year.
Joes and Sally.
And Sally, yeah.
And no Asian pride, anything, no movement of trying to take back. No, you just go kick
Chinese
some ass.
New Year.
Yeah, that's all we got.
It's a hell of a party.
That's all. There's
but they're
nothing.
giving us money.
It's
like
good
they
luck.
Just give out
it's
money.
good luck.
So
Chinese
of
New
course
Year's
they're
so
gonna be
fun.
liked.
Yeah. All right. What was our story?
Oh, well, we can talk about how Karine Jean-Pierre has now switched her political affiliation to independent.
Oh.
Yeah, so the former Biden White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP, as I like to call her, on Wednesday revealed that she was registering as an independent and announced a forthcoming book about her time in the tumultuous administration. So apparently, this is the best part, though. All of these Biden insiders are speaking to the media, but on anonymity only. And they are lighting up their little group chats because they're afraid of what she's going to say about them. And Biden, obviously, as the House is starting this investigation of who knew what when.
But when these press secretaries leave, and they always do, when was the last time that one of them left with a bombshell? To be like, wow, we didn't know that. Or we didn't assume that. When was the last? Because they all write books. They all do a press.
They go on speakers tours.
Exactly.
They make so much money.
That's how they have to make money.
Yeah.
They do this job. It's like somebody who plays sports just for the sneaker deals.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a thankless job. Everybody hates you, but you're doing this so that you can make money in the long run.
Well, apparently a lot of people in the West Wing hated her because she liked to be on camera, but obviously she did a really shitty job answering questions for the Biden administration, and she didn't do the managerial work
I don't think
behind
that's
the scenes.
Policy aside, I think, I think any job for Biden, for Trump, for Obama, for Clinton, it's a bad job.
The press secretary job?
Well,
See, I actually think it'd be the most fun because everybody's going to hate you anyway, so why not?
No, that's what I mean. I go, you're going to get your entire life is a comment section on Reddit where people are just trolling you. Like nobody likes you.
True. The press doesn't like you.
Yeah.
People in the administration probably don't like you.
Well, I don't think we can hold against them that they basically lie for a living because they have to lie for a living
to keep their job.
Well, what if you just went out? If you just went out there and you just went, I took a shot of sodium pentothal and I found out I had brain cancer and 3 weeks to live. So ask away. Is Joe Biden, is he addled? Is he affected mentally? You'd be like, well, obviously you've seen the tape. He doesn't fucking know where he is half the time. But don't worry, everyone else is basically running the White House, but he's not, so don't worry. But the part you should worry about is they're all crazy leftists. So you thought Joe was in the middle of the road. Joe is in the middle of the road. We literally have to get him out of the middle of the road. He doesn't know where he is, but he's got a bunch of lefty lunatics.
He's driving
running
a truck that won't get out of the way.
Country. Right. He's parked in front of Carolla's studio. He won't move. All right. So any other questions? Like, well, no, of course you go, Joe's 100%. We just had a long talk. My problem is I need roller skates to keep up with that guy.
That's literally an abbreviation of what she told Don Lemon, by the way. Who Lemon asked her, like, hey, how is the president's cognitive abilities? This was back in 2022.
It's great.
Corinne Jean-Pierre. Oh, we have it?
Yeah,
Sweet.
we have it. It's weird if her answer, he's the president. That's like saying, your head coach just went 0-13. Should we fire him? He's the head coach of the Giants.
That's like, you're answering a question that nobody's asking.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. Yes, he's the president.
Yeah.
That's
established. I'm saying nobody was questioning that.
You got to laugh, and then it becomes laughable.
Well, I'm concerned if she couldn't keep up with Joe Biden in 2022, then maybe she needs to see a doctor. But she's not moving to the right. She is saying that she felt like the Democratic Party betrayed Joe Biden. The description of the book says it's set to be released in October, and it will look at the, quote, 3 weeks that led to Joe Biden's abandoning his bid for a second term and the betrayal of the Democratic Party that led to his decision.
Well, Joe Biden isn't anything. It's just the people who work the auto pen sort of with him. And that's all you really needed. Also, when they go like, well, you got to have the auto pen. I was thinking about it because, the president has got so many documents and so many things. When I wrote like my first or second book, they shipped 5,000 book plates, they call them. Mm-hmm. 5,000.
Yep.
5,000 little adhesive backed 3x4 squares that you would sign and then they'd stick them on the back of the book, right? I didn't get 800. I got 5,000. And my whole life for the next 3 weeks was I'd have a stack like 4 inches high, and I'd just be sitting in bed watching TV, just sign. Wherever I was, I'd be standing in the kitchen eating, sign. Everywhere. I wouldn't leave the house without a stack of these things. It was a pain in the ass, but I didn't have an auto pen. Like, you can do it.
That's funny to think of you in the kitchen just with a feed bag on.
That's right. I had my nanny feeding me, but yeah.
No, but you're right. When we would
I said lips when she asked.
She goes,
hips
or
lips.
Sorry, hips.
I was like, no, lips. Yeah, I'm hungry.
But the thing is, like, the auto pen is so funny. What does his signature even look like? And as he declined, what did it become?
Hey, and here's the other thing, too. I realize I go out on the road, I bring all my books. I've told the story a million times. I just bring my books they gave me and I sell them as merch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of them, basically. That's why I'm doing it. But I stand there in line after the second show and the first show, and people come up.
Yeah, they want your autograph,
Sharpie. If you took the 25 people that brought a book and just opened them up out in the parking lot and put a flashlight in it, the signatures would look marginally different because I'm just kind of rattling them off. For
sure.
You'd go, the same guy signed all these, but the first one and the third one and the 17th one are kind of different than one other. So when they're all exactly dead nuts on down to the millimeter,
it's a stamp.
That's an auto pen.
That's a really good way for us to see. Maybe that's one of the things that Congress can investigate.
Oh, they did.
I feel like every time I'm writing my name, it's like slightly different.
It's going to vary because you're a human being and you're in a little different position. And sometimes you're not even looking down. Sometimes you're just signing and taking a picture.
You're like, what's your name? John. Nice to meet you, John. Yeah. And then you're scrolling. Well,
the autograph hounds, they used to say the clearer the signature, the more it was worth. Uh-huh. So that there's sort of not I don't mean mentally, but late stage, in the beginning when you'd get like the Beatles to sign, things were much clearer than when they had signed a billion things.
It's just scribble.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and then that makes sense too, because then it's an older artifact as well, most likely too. So it's like it's double. So it's like, yes, Paul McCartney and first album.
If I was Joe Biden, I would just sign a JB.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Just JB.
So
Beaver and I are the same.
Now there's going to be a big auto pen thing because you're going to go, literally the last day you pardoned a bunch of people. Ooh. But did you pardon a bunch of people or did they pardon a bunch of people?
Well, we all know he pardoned his son.
There's they. Yeah, but is Jill Biden in charge of the auto pen? because they go, she was kind of running things, or Ron Klain or whoever in the cabinet was kind of calling the shots, and he was kind of out of it at that point. So is that Jill calling
Well,
the
according
shots?
to the Tapper book, they're saying that they're members of the cabinet that spoke to Tapper that were like, we didn't even see him and we didn't know what was going on. We were hearing from Klain and like all of these other inner circle staffers.
Well,
so I think it is a legitimate question. I think like this could be it should be a real scandal.
It should be.
Nobody wants to.
But they want to turn the page.
Yeah.
And Karine Jean-Pierre wants to get a New York Times bestseller out of that one.
Yeah, my feeling, and it's kind of funny. I mean, Biden, he really bucked himself, and I'll tell you why. And I've been a broken record about this subject, which is sort of affirmative action, as we used to call it, or DEI, as they call it now. Look, it's fine if you run a fast food place and you're in a neighborhood and it's a predominantly black neighborhood, and you go, why don't we take a couple of the black guys and put them up front at the counter and put the Mexican guy behind the grill, because they could represent the community. But when it comes to really important jobs, just get the best, which can be black, and it can be a woman, and it can be a lesbian. You're shrinking your pool. Like if I just said, look, I need a roofer, but he's got to be albino. Then someone
That's not
would
a
go,
good job for him.
It's not a job for him, but like people would go, good luck finding a good albino roofer. And then if I found an albino roofer, there'd be a good chance he might not be the best.
And this is how we got Kamala Harris as our vice president.
Because we shrunk the pool. So Joe said, I'm going to have a vice president, but it's going to be a woman, and it's going to be a woman of color. And it's like, okay, going to be a woman. You've taken half the candidates, more than half the candidates out, because traditionally there's more men, politics or generals or whatever.
Because women are more risk averse and men are not.
I mean,
that's literally why there's more men in politics, because women tend to be more risk averse.
Yeah,
naturally.
if you just go, look, I'm hiring a plumber, but it's got to be a woman, I'd be like, oh, you just took 85% of plumbers and you threw them out.
Weird stat, actually. It's actually closer to 99%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I give campus speeches on all the different roles of men and women and the beauty and the differences of men and women. And like literally plumbing and electricians, it's like less than 2% are women.
I was trying to be magnanimous. And I was thinking about it as I was saying.
I thought you were going to say you're taking 100% God and you're just going to have shit in your toilet.
Well, what I was trying to do is make it cross over to Kamala, which is, yes, they're black women, Condoleezza Rice, there's qualified black women out there. There have been historically, but you've taken the lion's share of the people who could perform this task and you got rid of them mathematically. So now you're left with a smaller group, and now you go, I need a woman. Yeah, okay. And she's got to be black. And it's like, okay, now we're really getting finite here in granular. And then you pick one, and I go, well, now be careful, because she may not be great at this job.
Turns out.
And it turns out she was bad at the job. And it turns out you ruined your next 4 years because she wasn't up to it. And Karine Jean-Pierre, we want a black woman. And she was up there going, I'm the first lesbian black woman who's ever done this job. Great, applaud, but be careful. She may not be the best at this.
Oh,
and that's what happened to her.
He did it with the Supreme Court, too.
Right.
Ketanji Jackson.
Right.
Same thing, every time.
Right, and he inhabited his cabinet with like, look, there's going to be two considerations. One is, can they be head of the Joint Chief of Staff or the head of the whatever? But the other bigger one is, are they gay? Are they black? Are they a woman? And it's like, well, then you're not going to get the best group to do this. And that's what he did. And then he would get out there and he'd brag all the time. He'd go, this is the most diverse staff we've ever, and it's like,
as inflation is like,
yeah, but they're not. You got Janet Yellen, who's like one of my mom's friends from when I was in high school, who seems totally inept and way overhead. Like a lot of these people, Mayorkas, they seemed incompetent, inept, and sort of over their head, but it's because they never should have been there in the first place. And also, as a citizen of this country, like basically, I went on Tucker Carlson. We got to find this, Andrew. I went and did Tucker Carlson's show. It was like 4 years ago. And I just said, Joe Biden is essentially a drunken airline pilot, and we're all on the plane. And if he wants to go get drunk and fly alone, that's his business. But you pointing incompetent people while we're on I'm on row 18 back here. No, that's not fine with me. You're incompetent people in the cockpit, and I'm on the fucking plane.
Right.
And so is all of America. All right, sorry. One more.
One more story?
Yeah.
Okay. So, communist country of Vietnam has now dumped their decades-old two-child policy. So China used to have the one-child policy, and then they realized, oops, this is a problem. Russia apparently has a shortage of women and children. This is why they were like taking them from Ukraine, allegedly. But Vietnam is now facing declining youth population and a growing gender imbalance, with 111 boys born for every 100 girls. And apparently it's been going down since like 2013.
How many boys for every girl?
111 boys for every 100 girls.
So it's like 10%.
That's a new version of the Beach Boys.
Yeah. That's right.
111 boys for every 100
girls. Going down to Saigon, gonna get some pussy.
The Saigon Beach Boys.
Delta Mekong, here we come. Yeah, okay.
All righty. The study showed that the population of citizens, I guess this is where the concern comes in, ages 15 to 64 is now up to 70%. So I don't know how much of that is over the age of 60, but their like average age of living is not that high. So they're concerned about all of their population dying off, and they don't have enough people to repopulate.
I'm just going to say to everybody, if I ever get into any kind of position of power and someone starts floating the ideas of like, well, what if we started working a deal where there was more girls or less boys or more boys and less girls? And I go, you ever see those sci-fi movies where the robot's everyone's best friend in Act One? We know how this, turns out, don't you? You just got to leave people alone. They'll procreate in however fashion some people have 7 kids, some people have no kids, some people will be gay, some people have 2 girls, some people have 3 boys. When you start fiddling,
it's creepy.
There's some point 40 years, 80 years down the road where you wish you'd left it alone.
For them, it's been 30 years because they started this policy in 1993. So it's a little more than 30.
I got my Tucker. What? When was this clip with Tucker? Would you know? Is there a date on it? We don't. It had to be 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years. All right. So 4 years ago. And by the way, Jake Tapper and all you folks, Jean-Pierre and all you folks are like, well, nobody told us the guy was in strong mental decline. Like, you don't have to tell anybody that. Like, here's what I'm saying. If I'm walking across the street and there's somebody who has dementia and is elderly walking on the other side of the street and not even talking, I can look across the street and go, that guy's got something bad going on. I can see the way his face looks. You don't need to be told. I wouldn't have to interview him.
Well, Tapper, now that he's trying to like CYA, he's like, oh, well, it was the greatest it was the greatest unsuccessful cover up of all time because as everybody was covering it up, the American people could see what actually the hell was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. All right. Is it me with the airplane pilot thing? All right, here it is. He doesn't know what he's
Back
saying.
when Corinne Jean-Pierre was like, he's the president.
Yeah. Oh, that was probably the redhead in there. That
she wasn't in yet.
Corinne Jean-Pierre wasn't
Jean-Pierre.
in.
No. It was the same year.
Pasaki.
It was
Pasaki.
Really?
Because she
was. Well, this is April 21, so this is more than 4 years ago.
Whoa.
Well, I'm saying it's 4 years ago. So I think Saki.
Yeah, you
Jen
might be
Psaki
right before she went to CNN.
Wait a minute, I'm right. I'm the one who's saying it.
No, he said it first.
He did?
Pasaki was in there till 2022.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Check the tape. I just told Alicia Krause. I was like, you went Corinne Jean-Pierre and was saying blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, she wasn't.
And then he said, no, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
And he said it was the redhead.
All right. Now we're going to check the tape.
Oh, God.
All right. We'll take a break. Let's see. What are we doing over here? Alicia Krause, I'll give you a plug at the end. Jonathan, I'll give you a plug at the end. Dr. Stephen Gundry is going to come in. He's been in before. We'll tell you all about health. Interesting stuff. And we'll do your gut, your brain, and all the good stuff. We'll do that right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. I got to thank you for making me laugh so hard. I had to wipe my eyes at least 6 times at the Bellflower show. Thanks a lot, man. Fucking funny as shit, dude. I give it a 10 out of 10. And it was great meeting you and Mike August. Just fantastic, sir. Thank you again. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Well, thanks. That felt good. Dr. Stephen Gundry back in studio. The book, The Gut-Brain Paradox, and also the podcast, Dr. Gundry Podcast on Podcast One, or wherever you find finer podcasts. I see you pop up all the time on my internet now.
Oh, thank goodness.
And I think, well, let's try to if we can whittle down nutrition and where we're at. There's always going to be this camp and that camp. Like there's the kind of all protein meat, eat that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's all this. There's always the camp, was red wine good? What about eggs? But I think we're starting to narrow it down a little bit, right? And we figured out the food pyramid's no good, and eating bread and muffins all day is no good, and that good protein is good, and that, probably better off eating elk than you are eating, chicken or something like that. I don't know, but we're starting to narrow it down to sort of protein and green and vegetable and fats and olive oil and avocado oil, not seed oil, right? Are we starting to get narrowed down a little bit?
Yeah, we are getting closer and closer. But like, for instance, olive oil. Did you know the Greeks consume 26 liters of olive oil per year?
Wow.
That's about a half a liter per week.
Right. So a liter is like 3.7 liters in a gallon or something in there.
Yeah, you kind of think about it as a quart. It's
think about it like a quart. Yeah. Right. That's
a lot.
That's a lot.
And, they have some of the healthiest lifestyle. And there's
where do they get their olive oil, but they're not chugging it from a tumbler. Like it's in everything. But what's it? Yeah. Why is it so prevalent? Like, what's it in?
They literally cook with it, and they put it on everything. In fact, one of my sayings is the only purpose of food is to get olive oil into your mouth, and I mean that sincerely.
So olive oil is demonstrably better than avocado oil?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Here's the deal.
But avocado oil is better than sunflower oil?
Yes, but let's not throw canola oil under the bus with the other seed oils.
Is canola, is that a controversial stance for you, the canola oil part? Because I do hear folks not into the canola oil.
Well, it's funny. So canola oil is actually rapeseed oil that is incredibly prevalent in Europe. Rapeseed oil has a little toxin that was hybridized out in canola oil, but it's essentially rapeseed oil. And it's got actually quite a bit of a really cool short-chain omega-3 fat called alpha-linolenic acid. This is really good for your heart. It's really good for your gut. And canola oil, of the oils that we consume every day, is actually one of the best that you can use. The problem with canola oil, up until a few years ago, almost all of it was sprayed with Roundup, glyphosate, to harvest. Now you can find organic olive oil, canola oil.
So if you're going to, let's do the oil rankings, one being best. We'll stop at 5.
Okay.
And let's do the protein rankings. Could be eggs, could be butter, could be beef, could be salmon. I don't know. Let's just go 1 down to 5, starting with the oil.
Okay. So number 1 is definitely olive oil.
Olive oil. So that's a pretty easy one for people because it's ubiquitous. Everyone likes it. It's good, and you can just cook with it, put on your salad dressing. You just do olive oil.
Yeah, just do olive oil.
Is there trouble with different kinds that are getting stepped on with other additives and things like that? Does 100% pure virgin olive oil mean something, or is it just more labeling?
No, it's mostly labeling. Unfortunately, there is an olive oil mafia that can actually control diluting out olive oil. But here's the trick. Number one, look for extra virgin olive oil. Now, that doesn't mean that those olives have not had sex with lots of other olive trees. That actually looks at acidity of the olive oil. And olive oil has to be a certain acid. That's just what extra virgin means. Look for organic. But here's the best thing to look for. Look for a single origin of country. Now, if it says produced in Italy, that doesn't mean it came from Italy. You got to actually see that it was actually harvested in Italy. The other thing, olive oil starts to go bad the minute you open the bottle. So get the small bottles rather than the big bottles. And don't look for sell-by date. That means nothing. Look for the time it was produced. So, for instance, right now, it's 2025. So you look for 2024 and or 2025. Buy that olive oil and only use it for a year, and then you're okay.
Is the olive oil, can we equate, I just sort of equate price and sometimes container. Like if it's in a plastic container, I kind of go like, I don't want it.
Right. It's got to be dark glass.
Dark glass. And what about metal?
Metal's okay.
Metal's okay. Dark glass, no plastic. And it's not buying the expensive stuff doesn't guarantee anything.
No. In fact, some of the most expensive stuff that you find in the gourmet stores is actually pretty rotten stuff that's multiple years old. And in fact, I go around and look at this kind of for a living.
Is there a brand that you could throw out that people would go, well, you're pretty safe, buy this online?
Can I do a shameless plug?
Sure.
Gundry MD, high polyphenol olive oil. It actually comes from a grower in Morocco, and it's all organic, and it comes in small bottles. And it's organic and first cold pressed and extra virgin, et cetera, et cetera.
So you know what you're getting.
It has the highest polyphenol content of any olive oil ever tested. And that's what you're buying olive oil for.
Does it taste any different than...
You know it. Well, first of all, if it makes you cough, that actually is a great sign of a great olive oil because it's the polyphenols in olive oil that you're drinking olive oil for. It's not the oil. Olive oil is mostly oleic acid, and so is avocado oil. But the polyphenol content of olive oil is what makes it so good.
So, olive number one. Number two.
Believe it or not, number two is something that most people have never even heard of, perilla oil.
Perilla oil.
And people go, what the heck is a perilla? Almost everybody at one time or another has had a coleus plant in their yard or in their house, multicolored leaves, beautiful. Look it up on the internet. It goes to seed. It's the number one oil in Korea and China. And it is almost pure alpha-linolenic acid. And you can buy it. You can get it on the internet. It's what I mix my olive oil with perilla oil half and half. It's that important.
What does it taste like over salad?
It's bland. It has really no flavor.
What would you say olive oil tastes? Is olive oil?
Olive oil should have a real flavor. And there's actually, I do olive oil tasting over in Italy where we actually gargle the olive oil.
Really?
Yeah.
And then under that, what's the third?
So the third that's really available for most people, if you've got to have something that has alpha-linolenic acid in it, number three is organic canola oil, believe it or not. Don't throw all seed oils under the bus.
And then you go under that with avocado? Or
So avocado is the same oleic acid as olive oil, but it just doesn't have much polyphenol content.
All right.
So if you really want another cooking oil, get yourself either ghee or butter. And
what's the difference between ghee and butter?
So ghee has had all the solids removed from the butter. So, and it's shelf stable. You can leave it out, it never goes bad. But here's the cool thing that I've written about in a couple of my books. Butter has a really cool fat called carbon-15. And carbon-15 is an odd chain fatty acid that has been shown, even in the Framingham Heart Study, to actually prevent heart disease. Yeah.
Wow.
Butter.
Yeah.
And so ghee is even better than butter.
Where does one purchase ghee these days?
Almost every store now has ghee.
So even you went to a Ralph's?
Yeah, Ralph's has ghee.
And is it near the butter?
Yeah, no, it's in the oil section because you don't have to refrigerate it.
Right. All right. So now let's slide over to protein. What's at the top of the food chain? Protein, it could be eggs or could be cheese, could be elk. Doesn't.
Well, number one, in my current book, The Gut-Brain Paradox, the protein that I recommend is wild shellfish and wild fish. Number one, beats everything else.
Really?
Yeah. Really.
What particular fish, or does it matter?
Well, wild salmon is great. And you can get wild salmon, even frozen. Alaskan salmon, by law, has to be caught wild. Canadian salmon, by law, can be farm raised.
Uh-huh.
Here's a buyer beware. If you see the words organic salmon or Nordic salmon or Scottish salmon or Irish salmon, don't buy it. It's actually farm raised.
So you go with Alaskan, you're safe.
You're absolutely safe.
And I have heard people go, well, I like salmon, but there's so much crap in the ocean these days. Are we worried about that?
Not the salmon that is wild, you don't have to worry about. What you really have to worry about is all the farm-raised salmon, the sustainably raised salmon. Back in the old days, we used to farm-raise fish by feeding them other little ground-up fish. Mm-hmm. It's too expensive to do that. So now they're fed ground-up grains. And the bad news is everybody says, oh, salmon is loaded with omega-3s, and omega-3s are really good for your heart and really good for your brain, and fish oil is really good. When you feed these fish grains and soybeans, they don't make the omega-3s anymore. They actually make the omega-6, which is the evil oil in seed oils.
So wild caught, just Alaskan salmon.
Yeah,
salmon,
Alaskan
we know it's
salmon
wild.
yourself.
What's our second protein?
So again, shellfish, particularly wild shrimp, clams, mussels, scallops, lobster. Hey, why not? That's what you want to have as your next protein.
Is there a wild cod or an organic or an Alaskan or from this Maine, or is there any of that in front of that?
The good news is almost all shellfish are wild with the exception of shrimp, and shrimp can be farm raised. Most of it comes out of Vietnam and Thailand. But you can get wild shrimp out of the Gulf, out of Florida, and it'll say wild. Also, a lot of it comes out of Mexico.
What's our third?
So the third is pastured chicken. Now, that's different than pasteurized chicken. Mm-hmm. Pastured chicken means the chicken went out and ate bugs and scratched through the grass. Almost all of our chicken is not pastured. And people, unfortunately, say, oh, I'm getting organic free-range chicken. Mm-hmm. Free-range, that means they're out in the range. No. The dear old federal government in 2007 passed a law that you could keep 100,000 chicken in a warehouse, never let them outside except for 5 minutes every 24 hours to a 3-yard by 3-yard by 3-yard patch of grass. And if they had the potential to go outside during that 5 minutes, and of course they wouldn't, then you could label them free range, even though they never did. Here's the best part. If you feed them organic grains and soybeans, you can label them organic free-range chicken. But the law says that if organic feed costs double regular feed, then you can feed them regular feed and still label it organic because you meant well.
Oh, so how would one find your pasture chicken?
So it's beginning to show up. For instance, Trader Joe's now sells pastured chicken. Mary's makes a heritage chicken that's pastured. There's a couple of great producers. Can I throw out? So I have no relationship with these folks. My favorite is Farmer Dan from Texas. LectinLightChicken.com. Light spelled like a light bulb. And he literally feeds his chickens a lectin-free meal.
Does one go online and order chicken breast?
Yeah, you can do it.
So,
and don't just order the chicken breast. The dark meat is much better for you. And please, 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 don't throw
meat.
the skin away. The skin is the best part.
Thighs better than breasts.
Exactly.
Right.
And chicken livers are by far the highest form of spermidine, another thing that makes you really young, than just about anything else.
All right. So this is interesting because I've talked to a lot of nutritionists, and they'll put like elk or grass-fed beef or something sort of up at the top. At some point, butter enters the conversation. But so far, we got fish and chicken, which these guys don't often put at the top. So now, moving past the chicken, what do we got in fifth place or fourth place?
So I'm glad you brought up elk. Most elk and deer have a sugar molecule in their meat that is similar to the sugar molecule in us called, and there won't be a test, I promise, neu5A-C. Beef, lamb, and pork and regular milk has a different sugar molecule called neu5G-C, capital G. They differ by 1 molecule of oxygen. Otherwise, they're identical. Here's the problem. When you and I or your listeners eat grass-fed, grass-finished beef, they make antibodies to this sugar molecule in the beef that actually promotes heart disease, promotes dementia, promotes cancer, and promotes arthritis, unwittingly. Elk and deer don't have that. Camels don't have that.
Right. So you're better off eating elk than steak.
Yeah, you really are. Now,
is it getting more fashionable, popular, easier to come by?
Yeah, I think so. I think people are beginning to realize that there probably is a health benefit. But the cool thing is that I talk about in Gut-Brain Paradox is I study traditional cultures. And a lot of these cultures, these long-living people, eat a lot of preserved sausages. And you go, wait a minute, sausage is bad for you. And yet there they are eating it. It turns out if you ferment a sausage to preserve it, you actually add bacteria to the mixture. Those bacteria eat this funny little molecule, neu5G-C, and it's gone. So it's actually good for you. So, for instance, just last week I had a bunch of Italian sausage that had been fermented the correct way. And you can do it in the United States. And here's the trick. Look at the label, read the ingredients, and you're looking at your sausage, and it's going to be in a casing. Look for lactic acid cultures. Now, if it says lactic acid cultures, that means it was fermented with bacteria. Now, some companies are getting pretty smart. They hear that people are looking for lactic acid, and they don't put lactic acid culture, they just put lactic acid. That's totally different. So you got to see lactic acid cultures, and then you're safe. And it's good for you.
We could go to Trader Joe's and find this?
Yes, you can. You can go to just about, like Whole Foods, you can go to...
Like Italian sausage.
Yeah, Italian sausage, but it's got to be in the casing. And I've got a good friend of mine, a 3-time James Beard Award-winning chef, Jimmy Schmidt, who now has a company called JR Ranch Foods, and he ferments all his grass-fed, grass-finished beef as the best hot dogs you're ever going to have in your life. Yeah.
I got to write
so
that
it's
down.
JR Ranch Foods. There's a JR Ranch, and it's not the same thing.
Love me a hot dog.
Well, let's see if I can get him to send you some.
Oh, God, I'd be forever grateful. Pigs land on this pyramid.
So, pastured eggs are the best that you can find, but you got to realize that farmers actually have to feed their chickens something else to eat besides bugs, and a lot of times they can't get out on the range 365 days a year. So you actually want to know what they feed their chickens. And when I'm at a farmer's market, I go up to the farmer, the egg producer, and I say, what do you feed your chickens? And the right answer is nothing. They work for me. And that's a really good answer. So you really want to find out, you are what you eat, but you are what the thing you're eating ate. Now, to be really safe, the safest egg is to buy an omega-3 egg in the grocery store. These chickens are either fed flax seeds or seaweed as their primary food, and that's where the omega-3 fats come from. Mm-hmm. And there's a number of companies that make omega-3
We
eggs.
could go to the Trader Joe's again.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I'm bringing up Trader Joe's is because it's a kind of middle-of-the-road accessible place. A lot of people can't handle Sprouts or Whole Foods or Gelson's or something. A lot of people aren't going to the John's or Vons or Safeway or something sort of lower, or Lucky's kind of lower. But the Trader Joe's sort of right in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what I tell my patients. Look, you can save your life at Trader Joe's or you can kill yourself. In fact, I've made YouTube videos of let's go shopping at Trader Joe's, let's go shopping at Costco, let's go shopping at Walmart. And I put them on my podcast. And we're on the same podcast one.
Yeah. So what are... I like to do, and I've probably done it with you before, but I do it with all folks who are nutritionists or who are in this game, which is I kind of go breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A lot of the newer answers skip breakfast, but I get it, and I get the intermittent fasting and all that, and I think people are kind of wise up to that. But realistically, you go, well, what's for dinner? And okay, so a piece of salmon.
Yeah.
From Alaska, cooked in some olive oil.
Yeah.
And then what's next to it on the plate?
Lots of greens. The greener the stuff, the better.
Right. So more broccolini and less cauliflower?
Cauliflower is okay. It's still part of the cruciferous family.
Right.
But what I try to get my patients to do, and I still see patients 6 days a week, I try to get them to try to use chicory family of vegetables. Chicory, what the heck is that? Most people now in the grocery store, the regular grocery stores, you see radicchio, and it's a round head of what people say, it's a red lettuce from Italy. Mm-hmm. So it's chicory. And chicory, most at Trader Joe's, they have a chicory called Belgian endive, which looks kind of like tulips. Mm-hmm. It's also a chicory family. Why eat chicory? Turns out that your gut buddies, the bacteria in your gut, just think chicory is the best food they've ever eaten.
Is that sort of salad form?
Yeah, salad form, or you chop it up.
Do you cook it?
Yeah, you can cook it, but most of the time you have it in salads. I have never had a salad in the south of France or in Italy that doesn't have one or two kinds of chicory in it. Never. And these guys, and you go, what? How come they're all doing this? Well, the studies show that these foods really feed friendly bacteria in your gut.
Is there any starch that we're good with on the side of that plate?
Yeah, root vegetables are actually really good for you. Yams, sweet potatoes. We're beginning to see the kind of purple or blue sweet potato more and more. The blue color is the polyphenols, and the root vegetables, for instance, go get some carrots. Don't cook them, but just eat them raw. Rutabagas, and turnips, like our Greek grandparents ate. These are all actually really great for you. They feed good gut bacteria.
Is there a noodle or a rice? And I think the last time you were in here, we had a discussion about a pasta made out of this type of flour. Yeah. And there's always controversy because the hardcore people are like, it's the same as just eating starch, or white flour, or whatever it is. You had a different take on it. Yeah. Is there even I think the problem is this. People like myself, every once in a while, you get a real hard craving for a pasta. And it could be spaghetti, it could be linguine, in whatever shape, twists, it doesn't matter. But you want it, right?
Right.
And so you go, I want to get the good stuff, and I kind of like to see if there was a lower carb version or a keto-friendly version or something. So you go, and they got all these great names, and it all seems great. And it does then you get into this, it has 8 grams of carbs, but the total carbs, and I'm always like, what does that total carb mean versus the 8? And it gets a little murky, and then I'm not exactly sure what to get.
So the best one that's non-grain based is sorghum pasta. And shameless plug, I make sorghum pasta at Gundry MD. And it has the mouth feel that we're looking for when we're eating pasta. That's why we want pasta. We're looking for that mouth feel.
Right.
And it doesn't have any lectins, my public enemy number one.
Right.
Millet pasta is also great. It doesn't have any lectins. I don't make a millet pasta, but there's many people who do. Big Green makes it. But so millet and sorghum are good. If you really don't want a grain or pseudo grain at all, then you can use Hearts of Palm noodles. Trader Joe's sells Hearts of Palm noodles, and they're pretty doggone good.
And so sorghum is what?
Sorghum is a grain that doesn't have a hull. We grow a lot of sorghum in the United States. It's usually fed to farm animals. Sorghum is cool, though, because it really requires very little water. And it's a huge grain in Africa because of that. And sorghum is really friendly to the environment because of it just doesn't need much water. And it doesn't have any lectins. So look for it.
And then we get into something I think everyone, well, maybe you're not as into avocados as everyone is.
I like avocados.
All right, you love avocados. Now, the other one I love tomatoes, but tomatoes split rooms. Some people like don't do it. Others are like, it's great, it grows, it's whatever. But you're shaking your head.
Well, remember, a tomato is a nightshade family, and tomatoes are from North America. They were brought back by Columbus 500 years ago to his native country, Italy. The Italians refused to eat tomatoes for 200 years after their native son brought it back because they knew how deadly they were. By law, Italian pasta sauce, tomato sauce, you cannot make tomato sauce without peeling and de-seeding the tomatoes because the peel and the seeds have the lectins. So my grandmother on my mother's side was French, and she taught my mother to always peel and de-seed tomatoes before she gave it to us. And it wasn't until I went away to college at Yale that I actually, for the first time, had a sliced tomato with a peel and seeds in it, and I thought it was the weirdest thing I ever had.
So is a tomato good if it's seeded and peeled?
Absolutely.
And then is there pasta sauce from Italy is fine?
Yeah, pasta sauce that came from Italy is by law peeled and de-seeded tomatoes.
Okay, so there's hope for us tomato people.
Yeah.
Avocado, good. Everything else, green, good. Here's one I was looking up. A yam versus a sweet potato. Now, I looked it up, and it turned out a sweet potato turned out to be better than a yam, but I'm like, a yam just seems like more sweet potato.
Believe it or not, when I wrote The Plant Paradox, we had 2 pages trying to explain the difference between a yam and a sweet potato because they're usually mislabeled in the grocery stores.
Oh, are they?
The kind of nice, kind of orangey one is usually called a yam, and that's actually a sweet potato.
Oh, really?
The ugly white one is actually the yam.
Oh, have I been fooled my entire life?
Yeah, and it gets actually more interesting. Yams are actually from Africa. They're part of the lily family, and we've been eating yams for thousands of years. Sweet potatoes are actually part of the morning glory family, and they actually came from the Americas. So you're actually genetically more exposed to yams, the ugly guys, than you are sweet potatoes, even though they're misnamed in the
So
restaurant.
one is orange. I mean, okay, to me,
I know. The orange ones taste better, but the white ones are actually better for you. But the blue ones are the best.
The blue potatoes.
Yeah, the blue sweet potato.
Oh, the blue sweet potato.
Yeah, the blue one, the blue potato comes from Peru, and it's a nightshade. I know.
Is there any rice? I mean, brown rice is better than white rice?
Oh, much worse.
Much worse.
4 billion people use white rice as their staple. Now, how come 4 billion people go to the trouble of taking the hull off of brown rice and make it white before they eat it? Because they're smart enough to realize it's the hull of rice that's bad for you.
So brown worse than, I mean, I'll tell you what happened, because I lived this with my sort of hippie mom. What ended up happening is it became a race war in the kitchen, which is white were bad, because my mom, it's an interesting thing. My mom was a hippie who watched like Billy Jack and Roots and stuff like that, and she'd see the white guy, and she'd go, that's a bad guy. Then she'd see the black family, she'd go, that's a good family. So then at some point, we'd go, well, what rice are we eating? And she'd be like, not the white rice, not the evil slave owner who... Not that white rice. No, we're going brown rice because we care, and that's the better stuff. And then you'd go, what kind of sugar are we eating? And they go, not white sugar, brown sugar. We're eating the good sugar. And you go, what kind of bread are we eating? And they go, not the white stuff. We're going with the brown stuff. And at some point, it dawned on me that this was sort of a race-based thing and not so much a health-based thing. And then at some point, I was like, isn't brown sugar just white sugar with molasses in it? Like, how could it be so good for you? It's good for you because it's brown sugar. And I was like, I don't know if this is science-based. And is brown sugar just white sugar with molasses in it?
Yeah, basically.
So I was like, how's that better for you?
It's not.
Okay, so this is what happened. And then we got the brown bread and the brown rice and the brown sugar, and we got brown everything, and we were off and running, and everyone just assumed it was better.
So there is a fairly safe rice, and it's white basmati rice from India. Mm-hmm. Now, it's got to come from India. We make white basmati rice here in the United States. We grow it in California, in the Sacramento River Valley, and we also grow it in Louisiana. But it's a totally different strain. Mm-hmm. Basmati rice from India has a very dense starch that we don't digest quickly. White basmati rice from America has a starch that we digest very quickly into sugar. Mm-hmm. Now, you can get white basmati rice from India. Actually pretty easy. You just have to go to more of a specialty store, or you can find it online. And
that's not a Trader Joe's item.
No.
You got to go online.
Yep.
And you get that, and if you're sort of trying to limit your carbs, that's a much better choice.
Correct, but you still use it as a treat.
Yeah. Don't do it every night.
Correct.
Right. And the side, and did we get any, we got elk sort of down lower.
Yeah.
Down on our food chain of protein.
Yeah.
And we know, the stuff like the chicken and the eggs, it's fine, but it has to be correctly labeled and sought out.
Again, you are what you eat, but you are what the thing you're eating it.
And where are we at with the butter? Like, I think people do a Kerry's Gold and they go, that's good.
No.
But I don't know.
So it depends on the cow. The breed of cow makes all the difference. And a cow makes a protein in their milk called casein. Most people have heard of curds and whey. So whey protein is what's left over when you make cheese, the curds. The curds are the casein. Casein in the United States, all of our cows primarily are Holstein cows, the black and white cow. Mm-hmm. They're very hardy. That's why we use them, and they give more milk. The casein A1 actually is pretty harmful to us. Casein A2, on the other hand, is safe for most people. The Guernsey cow, the Swiss brown cow, is casein A2. Turns out the Kerry Gold cow has a picture of the cow on the label, and it's a black and white cow. It's a Holstein cow. Mm-hmm. They're telling you not to buy that butter, believe it or not. So I tell my patients, they're being nice to you and telling you that's the wrong cow. Mm. So you can get most cows in France, in Italy, and in Switzerland are casein A2 cows. So French butter, Italian butter, Swiss butter, Belgian butter is perfectly safe.
And where do we? Is that a Trader Joe's item?
Yeah, you can find French butter at Trader Joe's.
Is there a brand name?
It depends. Most of it is called Presidente, but it comes and goes.
So you look for a butter that was not made out here.
By ghee, because that protein is removed. Mm. That's why I say, look, if you're going to do it and you're really worried about who the cow was, then get ghee.
All right, last question. No, last two. Cream, whole cream, and then cheese. Where we stand with that?
Well, so again, whole cream is depending on what the cow ate. pretty doggone good for you. But please, please, please don't put it in your coffee. You really want to drink coffee black. And not a week goes by that shows that coffee drinking, particularly black coffee drinking, is incredibly good for you in so many ways, particularly for your brain health.
But you want it black.
You want it black.
No ghee, no cream, no nothing.
No,
in
it
there.
actually binds the polyphenols. What? With one exception. Put allulose, a non-nutritive, natural, true sugar in it. It lowers your blood sugar. It helps you lose weight. It's really miraculous.
Where do you get allulose?
You can start getting it anywhere, but shameless plug, you can get it at Gundry MD. But you can go online and
What's
get
it taste like?
It is a true sugar. It was actually first discovered in figs, and it tastes exactly like sugar, except it has no calories, and it lowers your blood sugar. Cool.
Right. And so there's no additive if people want that coffee that has the creamy sort of, finish to it.
Coconut milk is the safest.
Coconut milk.
Coconut milk. Yep.
Interesting. Yep. That's the problem. You get the almond milk, you get the coconut milk, you get all the different discussions.
Yeah, we're starting to see pistachio milk and also hazelnut milk, but get the unsweetened variety. Most of these crazy plant-based milks are mostly sugar and a lot of seed oils to give them that kind of creamy consistency.
Last question, cheese.
So if cheese is fermented, and that is a question, it may be one of the finest foods known to mankind. It gives you good bacteria. It gives you these really two cool odd chain fatty acids called C15 and C17 that research after research now shows it helps heart health, it helps your brain, and there's some cool studies out of Italy that men who eat Parmesan cheese have much better vascular health than men who don't eat Parmesan cheese.
So what are some fermented cheeses?
So, for instance, Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese.
So most of the moldy cheeses, like Brie, for instance, is a fermented cheese.
Blue cheese.
The blue cheeses, anything that's got stuff growing in it is actually pretty good for you. It's easy to go to Trader Joe's and find Emmental cheese and Gruyere cheese, both from Switzerland. They are raw cheeses that are fermented. And again, they're at Trader Joe's. Go grab them. The other cheeses that are great and are fermented are sheep cheeses that are either Pecorino out of Italy, or if you go to Spain or Portugal, you'll see a lot of the sheep cheeses that are at Trader Joe's, and just look for them.
All right, let me give you a plug, Doctor. The Gut-Brain Paradox is the name of the book. Dr. Gundry Podcast is the name of the podcast, a Podcast One, wherever you find our podcast. And should people go to your website too, Doctor?
Oh, please come by.
It's is that Gundry MD?
GundryMD.com.
.com is where you go. Always fascinating. And I like talking to you because you know the fine points of these things. So always impressive, your wealth of knowledge.
Well, thank you. And again, I get to test this with patients 6 days a week, and I've been doing this for 30 years now.
It's funny because there's two parts. One, I like talking to you, and you get all the stuff and all the information, and then the other side of your brain is going, oh, crap, I just bought a block of that bad cheese. I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I should have been doing it the other way. But there's always time to correct.
Give it to somebody you don't like.
Yeah. Well, occasionally that's myself. Jonathan Kite, I want to thank him. He's got dates coming up all over the place. Jonathan Kite Comedy is where you go. And